you present for us what you see as the purpose and the mission of the Economic Development Committee so that we can get some sense of direction, and also say, like, what are the projects of the, what are the projects of the committee? And like, because, I'm unaware of exactly what it is we do. I've never been on the Economic Development Committee before in my 5 years, almost 6 years on council. First time Aaron assigned me to it, and this is the first time actually, that we really met.
No, we met June 20th. You just, or June 30th? I don't forget which one's in June, but you weren't able to attend.
I wasn't able to. I was away.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm just wondering if you could give us like an overview.
I don't have an answer for you at all, because it's defined in the borough bylaws. That's what it is. And in fact, the point of this is to ask the members, all of us, to figure out how we would like to see, Ed, who's not here, Ed Ridgely, who's not here, traditionally seems to be a part of the general apparatus of the committee in terms of getting the word out for various events. And apparently the Economic Development Committee has funded those activities in the past. What do you recall?
The committee has funded them, or the council has funded them?
Well, apparently the committee has paid for it on some level.
Do the committee's budget.
Do we have a budget for 2016? You don't know what it is?
Well, I look back at my notes. Actually, it was June 28th. Looking at my notes right here. I don't know when we met last. And I look back at them, and there were some things that came up that I was wondering if we knew where, and since Ed's not here, we can't ask him about a couple of things he talked about, but he suggested doing something special for the fourth quarter, like either a coupon book or something like that, and I don't know if he's...
Yeah, in the past he's done something with the Business Association, and there's been some coordination when possible, from what I understand, with economic development.
Right. So,
The committee also met before Borough came on, so there was, I don't know if you know about them, but the earlier part of the year.
Do you mind if I just go through the things that were out there and we can see? So we don't know if Ed's doing anything special. Oh, that was no. How are you? Your ears are probably burning, right?
One question that Bob had was how the economic development community relates to you.
Actually, my question is like, and you're not on the council or on the committee, so I don't know if you can answer this or not, but my question is like, what's the purpose of the Economic Development Committee as its vision for the Borough of Narberth? And like, what are the ongoing tasks of the committee? And
I think we should ask, look into the Borough Council history for that answer.
you're the chair of the committee, and so I can tell you what it is for the Building and Zoning Committee.
Well, you've been on council for a
Barbara
number
can
of
tell you
years.
what it is
Do you
for the-
recall them ever doing anything?
It's not a committee that I've particularly been involved with. My energies have been elsewhere.
But who sat on the council?
He sat on the council, yeah. No, I actually don't. I think the Business Association is important to support, and I know that we have supported the activities of the Business Association, and I assume the council will continue to support a strong economic like the context for a strong economy within our town. I think that's important. I think it's important for us to support business owners to provide like basic roads and basic services to businesses in the borough. We have trash issues around trash collection, those kinds of things that are important for economic development. I think it's important for us to just maybe for economic development, I think we should maybe talk about the sidewalks, the condition of the sidewalks, the plantings. I think the contract with Trio for the planters probably comes through the budget of the Economic Development Committee, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe Public Works, Bob.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm not be public, or is that public?
No, not in the quorums that I can.
What is the
glad
budget
to
of
give
the
some
Economic
insight.
Development Committee?
This year, the only expenditures we're pulling out of that are for Ridgeway's consulting fees.
Which are absorbed.
I mean, initially I had mentioned the sidewalk crossings, the crossings and those other things, but those were farmed out to those groups. So that was one of the very beginning. So I think what ended up happening was that at least for this year, the things that were initially discussed went on. But, you know, parklets were discussed in the year, and that went to another committee somehow or other. I think what's going forward is, the next time it's on the committee, instead of committee in borough, what is your opinion as to what it should be doing? And we do support it, and I think that comes up that more specifically.
So I think I'd like to start sort of at the very beginning and say, let's look at like what our budget is. For 2016, since we're talking about priorities for the remainder of 2016, see what we actually have within our capacity to fund, and talk about those things. And then if there's something in the budget, if there's something to discuss for 2017, let's do that after we kind of clean up 2016. That's where I would start. Suggest we start. Is there anything else? Is there anything about Ed's? Do you have any questions for the committee, Ed, or, like in terms of your consultancy to the borough, to the council?
I didn't come with any questions.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of questions do you mean? I mean, go ahead.
I don't have any questions for it. I think the issue seems to be that Bob does not know what the committee does or should do, or what it is that we have supported in terms of business association and you over the years. And so Barbara was going through the notes, talking about some of the things that in the rest of the year, that we are, like coupon book and some other ideas. So if you have anything that you, and we've been, Ed also joined business associations. Did you go ahead and do that?
I did.
Yes, and that was in order to get the word out for events in our town, and cross-market our events, and publicize that.
You want me to-
Doing the coupon book?
I don't have any coupons working right now. From our perspective, no, I have a couple of different roles. One is I do the promotional work for the borough, and I have a contract to do a certain amount of hours every month in promoting the activities in the borough that are not really the official governmental activities, but promoting the activities that the organizations run and the festivals and those kinds of things. I also do some. I also facilitate some of the communications for the borough on social media and help with that. So I do that through my contract with the borough. I also run the business association as the president of the business association, and I also, the third thing I do is I do a lot of volunteer hours for the different organizations. What has been the role of the Economic Development Committee with regards to my business association activities, and the reason, one of the main reasons that I come to the Economic Development Committee meetings is because the Economic Development Committee has supported events on a financial basis when we need things. Like, for instance, if earlier this year we had the Inside Out program with the Art Museum. And so a lot of what it was just manpower going to meetings and working with the museum, but we also printed things like posters and postcards and those kinds of things. And those were things that I assume came out, well, maybe they didn't, but I thought they came out of the Economic Development Committee budget. We've got an Oktoberfest coming up on October 1st. In the past, the borough has paid for a couple of things, including the porta-johns that are there. And so that's an expense, I don't know, it's like $400 to get a couple of porta-johns. But anyway, that's one of the things that the borough has done to support activities that are, run by the business association. So those are just some examples. I mean, I could talk to you about other things we've done over the years, but, primarily, it's been, financial support for the things that the business association is doing.
Thanks, Ed. Okay, I'm just gonna move on to, any ideas going forward, what you would like to see that I found about New Year's?
Well, as I said, I look back at the notes from the last meeting, and I thought it was a good meeting. There were a lot of things that were brought up, and we had some folks from the public make some comments, and I really liked some of the questions Nancy Grundle asked. She said, like, what do the businesses who are here need? Why do people shop here? Why don't people shop here? Why do people start a business here? Why don't they start a business here? And so there's some way that we could start some kind of survey to at least get a sense of, and then we would know, well, should we be looking at, working with council to have different kinds of sidewalks or different, whatever, I don't know. I just don't know what businesses need a business person. Don't have a sense of that.
I'd say you're right. I mean, one thing, we are short on data. We don't have a lot of data. But then, you run into the issue of when you ask for data, you end up with $80,000 parking studies. I mean, people who are looking to study what we do and what we need and ask questions of us. I mean, these people are professionals, and we have to budget ways to pay that. I mean, I don't know, in the scope of what we spend on economic development, I don't know that kind of, detailed analysis is even feasible.
Maybe I'm naive, but I'm thinking, why couldn't you just design a simple
Me?
survey?
Recognize?
No. The council, the committee.
Oh,
Why
oh, I
would
see.
the committee just design a simple survey that we stuck under every business's door? We get, depending on, are we focusing just on the Haverford Avenue strip, or Haverford Avenue and Forest and Essex, that kind of thing, and then maybe there's a different one for the Iona businesses and things like that. But, I'm just, it's something kind of simple to get us some thoughts from people who actually, that's stuff that we as volunteers can do. We can, design a survey and get it out to people. Look at it and decide if there's something there that we feel we can make a recommendation to council on, or that no, we can't, and we need a professional to help with it, and then we as council have to decide if we want to pay for that. But
You have a list on the business association of all the emails of the people or members?
Yeah, I have a list of all the members of the business association,
Maybe we could
which
email
is,
them.
I'm just thinking it.
I can reach probably, including business association and probably about 100 different businesses by email, which is a decent amount of them. I really don't know what the full number is.
Whatever happened to the map?
Yeah,
Very good part of 2015, 2018.
That was, that was a project that we started, and the idea was, and I can't even remember the specific, I can't even remember who was on the Economic Development Committee on the time, but that basically went from a project funded by the Economic Development Committee to being not funded by that and just being funded by the advertising. And so I did get a lot of advertising together for that, but it really ended up being a numbers game, in that I didn't have the resources to collect all the data on all the businesses in the borough. And one of the things that we wanted to do was do a directory, not just of business association members, but of everyone, of all the businesses. And the only other data I had for that was a list of businesses from the tax records that was like 600 businesses long. And there were businesses in there that had been closed before I even moved to the borough. So that was kind of a useless piece of information for me. And so it was really a data gathering project that I just didn't have the resources to do. So anyway, we have a map that's pretty much ready to go. And we could do some kind of publication that includes a directory and includes a map. And I think it could be nice. But it really, you know, if somehow we can put together a good directory, you know, I would say that's a very important part of that project. That I mean, that was really, data entry is, you know, that's a big data entry project that I just couldn't do. So anyway, that's where it is. If someone can put together that directory, we can finish that project.
But there's somebody that would be happy to volunteer to do that, I'm sure. There's somebody out there, so. Let's try to find that.
What was the ballpark price on producing the map, the numbers?
Oh, well, the map, I have a graphic artist who's not that expensive, and we had a local artist who was willing to work very inexpensively. So producing the actual map was going to be in the neighborhood of $1,000. And that, yeah, and that was like a beautiful map that has, you know, it looks great, yeah.
Is it David Fox?
Yes.
Can he move Andrea's business down there?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd have to do all that updating. And I think it is a worthwhile project, but it was, you know, it really got down to the point where it's like, okay, I actually got commitments for, you know, thousands of dollars worth of advertising. People would like to do this, but, you know, it was just, there was just no way that I could
think we
put
need
that
like
together.
40 hours of data entry time?
Somebody who's a fast typist, I don't know what they need 40 hours, but, you know, a lot of it's going to be like, a lot of it's going to be, you know, checking. Like some people can self-report, you know, and send you their latest address, but, you know, when you survey people, you get so little response that it's, you know, we could certainly do something that's primarily business association related. That would be simpler, but, you know, if it was, you know, it was kind of, I don't think we came to a final decision as to whether it was a borough project or an NBA project. And if it's an NBA project, then I can do it and have 75 businesses listed.
Right.
You know, but if the borough is going to be involved, that doesn't feel fair that someone who's paying taxes to the borough doesn't get to be part of it if the borough is going to put resources into it. And when it sort of became an NBA project, when I can't remember exactly what happened, maybe, I can't remember exactly what the details were, but it went from, all right, we're gonna invest this much money to get as much advertising as possible. And at that point, you know, that was like, all right, you know, I just looked at the project and started assembling the things. I got the advertising money. I have the map, which was, now will need to be updated, which is pretty far from completion, but I thought the directory was a major part of the project, and I just didn't have those hours to you know, compile that.
That seems to me like something, since Ed's done so much work already, and it exists, and businesses exist, and having a directory, whether it's online or paper or as a map, seems like something that would be good both for, might be useful, but also is kind of important historically. So I think it'd be worthwhile prioritizing, since it's kind of already closer to the finish line than practically anything else we've got going.
And it could be very useful. The reason we started talking about the project is we thought it would be very useful for a lot of things. Since we do so many events, we could have a nice piece to put in people's hands when they come here. And the different stores could have it, because sometimes people come in, they want to know what else is there besides the store
Right,
there.
I remember the story. I remember going to these early business association meetings, talking about a map. And in my mind, I was thinking about when you go to certain places like Vermont or whatever, and they have like a little cartoonish sort of map, and you can realize you're this far from all these other cool things. And that was the idea. You know, you come to Narberth for one thing, then you're like, oh well, not too far away. I can do
Right.
this, that, and the other thing. So somewhere between 75 businesses and the 600s, there's only so much that will.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that number is, but you know, I think for it to be useful, that has to be relative relatively accurate.
Right. Why don't you bring, as a next step, bring something, a better idea of how much more time, maybe narrow down how much more we have to do for the directory, maybe a stack of the map, and we'll figure out how much we have in the budget, John, to see where we can.
Yeah, and I can pull those numbers. And printing is actually not terrifically expensive. And one of the goals of the project was to take all this information and make it available online as well. So not only a print piece to put in people's hands, but something that they could access.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like something that could go on the website. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. We have 7 for response to this. Is there anything else? I know tonight, Sal Anderson is going to present to council, so there wasn't much point that needs to be placed. So, look forward to that.
Ed, which, different associations did you join? I know there were.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be kind of neat to.
yeah, we did. We joined the, I'm not gonna get the name of the Valley Forge one right, but it's
Oh, yeah,
the-
that one.
It's basically they are the promotional arm for all of Montgomery County, but valleyforge.org is their web address. And so we joined them, and they have started promoting us a little bit in terms of they put us on their website, and I've seen them start to add us to emails that they send out, and when they do social media, they mention our events on social media. The other one is the Mainline Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And similar things. And, I'll make a list for you as they go, because I see when this happens, so that we can see and, try and gauge whether they're,
Are they putting on Oktoberfest now?
it is, yeah. I wanna see if we can tell at all that we're reaching more people because of them.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
might
and see.
take a while to build too. You know, like the idea of getting people to come here and then come back for another event, I think is part of cross, marketing these and then seeing, it might take a while to develop the audience.
Yeah, and they're not terrifically expensive, but, they're each a couple $100 a year, and so, I wanna make sure that they do add some value. The idea being, at a minimum, that their audience is targeting some people that we are not already in our audience.
Well, the Valley Forge one certainly could be, because that, when you look at the events that they publicize, a lot of them are north and west of us, and so which.
Sure, I mean, Montgomery County is really big.
Exactly, and so, and then they're also hitting Chester eventually, so it's, I'm sure it's pulling some people who, look at this thing in Narberth.
Yeah, I think so. I was in favor of joining them, and we've been members for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so. I plan to attend some of their meetings and try and leverage opportunities to be included in them. When they do things like, here's 5 towns to visit, and things like that, here's places to go in the holidays. Like right now, we're in anything that they're putting out right now for Fall Festival.
And do we have a way to track where people come? Whether they're coming out from the western suburbs or from the city, or is there any ideas how to do that? So
Anecdotal.
like a raffle, like a zip code raffle or something like that? So
we-
we're hitting
So far, we've concentrated just on collecting emails from people. We're not doing a great job of collecting emails, but we do have, probably close to 1,000 emails of people who come to our events and given us their email addresses. But we've never asked them for addresses as well, but, yeah, I mean, that's cool.
For Oktoberfest coming up, I'd be curious to see who's coming out.
Oktoberfest, I can give you. I can tell you exactly where the Oktoberfest come from. Generally, not much farther than Haverford, Ardmore, Narberth, Wynwood, mostly like Lower Murray people, and as far as Haverford. But there are a couple in there, you'll see a couple from Malvern, and usually, you know, 1 or 2 orders come out of New Jersey. I don't know if those are friends of friends, or, you know, Oktoberfest people, or they're just looking for all the festivals they can get. Except for I can only speak from the NBA events. The only one that really reaches pretty far is the Dickens Festival. The other ones don't reach as far. I think, you know, things like the scavenger hunts for the kids are pretty hyper-local events. And something like an Oktoberfest is really more of a regional, you know, a small regional thing, because people in Philadelphia will probably go to a Philadelphia Oktoberfest. You know, and you don't have to go that far before you reach, you know, an Oktoberfest that's closer to your home. So I don't think that'll ever reach really far. But our Dickens Festival, I mean, we've gotten some feedback from pretty far away for that.
Unfortunately, people have to end, but I think there was a question. Go ahead.
And it's obviously not for this meeting, but going back to the conversation in the beginning about purpose of the meeting, one of the questions I have is looking at, besides restaurants, I would think there are 3 anchor stores downtown right now: Mapes, Rickland, and American Family Market. There are obviously a lot of others. Mapes is obviously closing. I have no idea what the future of Rickland and American Family Market are, but what is the role of the Narberth Borough government in terms of looking at 5, 10, 15 years out of how downtown is going to look like, and what can we do to get there where we want to be?
I will say that we did talk about this in the last 2 meetings,
Great.
and in the past, there has been money from the state funding a Main Street person who would, you know, market and develop. That's not something that's funded right now, but boroughs can hire someone to do marketing, to let businesses know when there are vacancies coming up, so that, you know, you can at least let people know who you think would be interested in being in the mix in your town. We do not have someone doing that right now, but that's something that will be possible.
Why don't we see if we can find funding for that, or?
Right.
You know, at my town hall on Wednesday, I wanted to talk about that too, like what people's expectations are for town. Do we want to bust in downtown, or do we want quiet or sleeping downtown? I like to bounce that off on Wednesday, so we can talk about that.
So, thank you everyone.